I have Ms. Walters here with us, the JBDC, preparing entrepreneurs to pitch for financing. Money ranks way up there with water and oxygen. Good morning. How are you? Welcome
Good
to.
morning. I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Bless you.
Good
All
to your
right.
audience.
Help me to make some money. Show me some money.
You have an idea? Do you have anything to offer?
Yeah, man, we can start a business, man. I'm going to have to come to you, because I soon start a business.
All
Small
right.
one. Yeah, man. Choo-choo.
Well, that's if you are certain of that, then you may have some way of getting some money, and I might be able to help you. But that's the starting point. You have to have something. You have to have something of value to offer, and then we can start from putting it together in a way that will look sustainable and attractive. So we're talking about pitching this morning, right? Pitching for investment, pitching for partnership, and for your audience, the JBDC is the premier supporter of and preparer of entrepreneurs to make it in the business world. And pitching, like you said, is one of the ways that they access one of their vital currencies, just like oxygen, which is money. The pitch is really a concise presentation of what it is, that concept is, what that idea is. It could be for a startup, it could be for an idea, it could be for an existing business. But that pitch is supposed to, usually in no more than 10 minutes, you have something also called an elevator pitch, which is even less, where it's very opportunistic, and you should be prepared to say what you have to say in like maybe a minute or two. But let's just go with the general pitch, where you have about 10 minutes of someone's attention, where you're deliberately trying to get them to give you something. And this usually prepares some kind of document called a pitch deck. And you also have to have a oral pitch that goes with it. So you have to have a narrative that explains and conveys with persuasiveness and conviction what it is that you are presenting. So the pitch is usually done to investors, the traditional loan funders, and also to, you might be surprised, friends and family, because a lot of times for seed stage businesses, like early stage businesses, the money that you're going to use to get that business started is not going to come from an external party that doesn't know anything about you. So you're not going to go to the bank, you're not going to go to a funder and get money usually when you're at that stage. You have to bootstrap it, as we say, which is find the money from your own resources, or use your sweat equity, or go to those friendly people who know you, such as your family and friends, and make up a pitch. You still have to pitch to them, so you still have to know what you're doing and what you're be convincing to them. And you usually have to hit some key points. So your audience is going to determine how it is that you focus your pitch. But generally, you want to ensure that you have a clear definition of what problem you're solving and why this problem is even significant. So how do you do that? You go about defining what the market opportunity is. So you're going to speak to how many persons you have possibly identified with this particular need, and then you're going to tell them what your solution is that is going to make this a winning opportunity for you to get into, and why they should back you. You also have to have something unique, innovative, that is going to differentiate you from the other offerings that are in this space. We call this your unique value proposition, right? And this is the way that you can say, all right, I'm not just going to go in there and do what everybody else is doing. I have identified some kind of difference in how I'm going to solve this problem for the market. And another area of importance is how the business makes money. And this is, we refer to it as your business model in business speak. So the business model is really describing your revenue streams, what your acquisition channels, what your sales channels, and all of those in your cost structure, basically all of the things that you need to factor in order to make this business profitable or sustainable, because you can have a great idea, you can pitch it wonderfully, but if the business model is flawed, then it's chances are you could do it and not be profitable, which is the whole point of going into business, right? To convince your potential funder, you also have to prove and demonstrate that you have some salt, so traction. What have you accomplished so far? And this could be simple things is I have made contact with X number of potential buyers already. I have already tested this product, even if it is not something that you have developed yet. You have ways, and we show you how to do that here, to go out and test to see if there's actually a need, and you want to demonstrate the results of this. So when you can speak and say, okay, I've actually done this already and this is the result, then people take you more seriously other than you just take up a pipe dream and say, I had this vision and I had this dream last night and I'm going to start this business, right? So you have to take some steps, preferably prior to show that you know what you're doing and that you actually are doing some kind of empirical methods of putting this thing together. Any milestones that you think are key for you to hit, like in the first year. So when you get this money now, you say, when I get this money and I do this, this is what is going to happen. These are the milestones that I'm going to hit, and they must sound. This is where your audience is important also. For if you're going for an investor and they are looking at what return they can get in terms of equity, then you have to speak to money. You have to speak to the percentage of money and so on that they're going to be getting. That's going to be important for them, or the potential for that. If it's lenders, you have to demonstrate that, hey, I'm going to be making enough money to, one, keep my business going, plus repay this loan. And if it's a grant, then depending on who is giving the grant, you have to speak to what's important to that grant funder as well, because every organization has different points that are important to them. So for like a DBJ, for example, it's a government funded organization. The return on investment is economic impact. So you have to demonstrate that your business, when it's funded, is going to contribute to GDP. It's going to impact employment, export, and those kinds of things. And you also want to ensure that your numbers, your numbers quite well. So if it's even projections, you need to know what your costs are. You can be able to say them clearly. You need to know what your potential revenue is going to look like over at least month to month for a year, the first year, and then you can do some assumptions about what it might look like for the next 2-3 years. Show that you have a way to manage the funds that you get and the funds that are going to be generated. You also have to demonstrate that you have a team that also goes beyond not just the operations but management, because a lot of times, especially for established ventures now that are seeking investment, when they're growing, it's still just the entrepreneur who is the sole oversight from a management perspective. They don't have anybody else supporting to provide that check and balance and objectivity. So when you're going to external partners, they want to see that you have governance systems in place, and that comes in the form of having a team that is not just you, that's other managements that's critical for the other business functions in the business and the industry. You want to make sure that you have people with expertise in
and
those
you have
areas.
and you have like this mapped out like a flow chart, right?
Kind of.
Yeah,
yes, it all comes together.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, I mean, you go to JBDC, you have an idea. I know that you have, I don't know if you have actually developed a flow chart, real flow chart, to show people, but I do know that you actually have that, where an individual just like you or a group of people just like you can say, step A, B, C, D, E. Right now you are at C, but you need to have gone to B before you can come to C. You have all of that in place.
So
pretty much. It's not
pretty
so?
Much.
Yeah.
When you come to JBDC, we have that flow that we put you through.
Right.
Before you can get to even the pitch. Because that what you're referring to there is the assessment of the business, to see where they're at, to see how ready they are.
Right.
And then we will know what to do with you after that.
Yes.
So, you know,
Yeah, man, I'm
wanted to make
hearing
sure
you.
that-
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that the final thing, that I've actually been in pitch presentations where they go through all of these lovely things and then don't ask for anything.
Yes.
So don't forget to ask for what you actually want. They kind of just think it's a given that we're going to figure out, or we're going to just say, okay, let me just offer you something. So you have to be clear about what exactly you're asking your audience for. Is it money? Is it partnership? Is it support? Because it's not just money alone that people pitch for. There are people pitching to participate in incubator programs, in accelerator programs, or even pitching to potential to collaborate with suppliers, get into relationships with even, we call them competition, where you're partnering with people who are in the same industry, but
what do you call
not
it?
directly. Competition.
Competition.
Instead
You
of-
made that word up?
No, I didn't.
I like it.
It's
Competition.
not my word.
Yes.
But it's cooperative competition.
I love it.
So you're
Yes.
working with your
Yes.
competitor, but it's in a
Yes.
collaborative way.
Sounds great.
You know, because economies of scale for small businesses usually a challenge, and you know, getting into networks and so on. So you can sometimes see opportunities to work with
Yes.
another entity in your industry, or even in your the same segment of the market that you're working with.
Kira,
And yes,
I'm very excited, and I know if we allow this to go on, we'll talk from now till tomorrow because there's
It's
just so
true.
much to offer.
true.
Just tell the public, because we have about maybe 10 seconds or so to go,
Okay.
how to get to you, JBDC. How can we reach you?
If you don't know now, you can contact us. The best place that there is to go on our website is www.jbdc.com, and we are on all social media platforms except for TikTok. But just go find just Google JBDC. The telephone numbers for the traditional folk is 928-5161, and this goes up to 5. And we are available to help you figure this thing out. We just help about 10 entrepreneurs get up to about $6 million. No, it was $2.5 million just last week. Yeah.
Yeah, sound good.
Just last week,
All
we
right.
went to our roadshow and got some money. So
Yes.
come to us and we'll help you.
All right. God bless you. We just had Kira Walters. She is the assistant manager of the Business Advisory Services Unit at the Jamaica Business Development Corporation. We just did Grow Your Business.
Your